Howdy guys, Bookie Laura here. Now it has been a while since I've joined in with ShakeTube, and I didn't think I was going to be able to join in this week because I struggled to find a copy of Hamlet, but at the last minute I managed to find one in a second-hand bookshop, and so I managed to read it, and this is my ShakeTube response to Hamlet. So for those of you who don't know, ShakeTube is just basically a bunch of booktubers who read a Shakespeare play a week and then upload their responses on the Friday. It's way into it now, and it started in I think August, September time and is running through to December. This week's play was Hamlet. I picked up a copy in a second-hand bookshop in Brighton, which was cool because I was on holiday and really didn't think I was going to be able to take part. I was really excited to take part because I read Hamlet when I was at school, in sixth form I think, and I was quite excited about reading another play which I'd read before, so I had some basic understanding, although apparently I couldn't remember any of the plot apart from that there was a guy called Hamlet in it. So I feel like saying right from the start that I actually didn't get along with this as much as well as I expected. I think there is a big element that perhaps I was a bit overexcited about it. I was expecting it to be a really positive experience, and actually it didn't live up to that for me. I'm aware that I read it under a lot of pressure because I didn't get a copy until very late. I felt under a lot of time pressure to get it done. There were times when I knew, right, I've got 1 hour left before I need to film the video and I've still got this many pages to go. So I think that might have had some impact on it, and also it meant that I wasn't able to read it at a relaxed time. I was reading it while my 6-year-old son was, you know, whittering on in the background, so it made it quite hard to focus. So that may have impacted my thoughts on it. I gave it 3 stars on Goodreads because I just didn't feel that I got along with it as much as I had hoped. I found the beginning particularly difficult. I think right at the start I almost gave up. I started reading it and thought, oh, do you know what, this is too hard work and is there any point in carrying on? But I did, and it kind of picked up again for me. I think the middle chunk I got into the plot and I knew what was going on and I was all happy, but then as I said, when I got towards the end, I was under huge time pressure, and then that just ruined it. I'm not going to summarise the plot because I feel actually that most people who read, or most people who watch ShakeTube videos, actually it's because they have read the play themselves. But basically, how does it sums it up on the back here as learning that his father has been killed by his uncle, Hamlet's only honourable course of action is revenge, but his nature tends towards reflection rather than murder, and as a result his own destruction seems inevitable. And I think that actually sums it up way better than I could have, even if I had tried. It is the sort of a tale of somebody wanting to get revenge but in turmoil with their own brain and their own thoughts and feelings, and quite clearly it's a tragedy and you can feel that right the way through. You know this isn't going to end well, and boy did it end in a way worse place than I was expecting. As I said, I'd kind of forgotten the plot. I mean, I knew it was about Hamlet and I knew Ophelia was in there and it was about him going, you know, seemingly going mad, but the ending really blew my mind actually. I kind of thought it's a tragedy, he's gonna die, you know, I know how this is gonna go, it's not going to end well for him. But I was surprised by how many people it didn't end well for. In some ways I was quite happy. I was like, yeah, you can die, and you, sir. So yeah, spoiler if you haven't seen it, sorry. One thing that I did notice, and I don't know whether this is again just my interpretation of it because of my other issues rather than how it actually is, but I felt like there were a lot longer sort of speeches, I'm sure monologues by characters, you know, that there were really long chunks, sometimes pages and pages of just one character sort of verbalising their thoughts and feelings about things, and that I hadn't seen as much of in the other Shakespeare books that I'd read. But as I haven't joined in for the last few weeks, I'm not sure whether it was just that I've got kind of out of the habit. One thing I really liked was actually how many times there were phrases and sayings that came up that I used in everyday life. I know that there have been on occasions, you know, some from Romeo and Juliet and things like that, but there are so many from Hamlet that are used in everyday life nowadays. And that I found really interesting, that obviously it is one of the Shakespeare plays which people are most sort of tuned into, I guess, and are able to take elements of it that reflect modern life. So I thought that was a really cool element, and I kept sort of every couple of pages going, oh yeah, I've heard that, and I thought that was cool. So generally, I think I found this more hard going than a lot of the other plays that I've read as part of ShakeTube, but I think that may have been due to personal issues rather than the play itself. I would be quite keen to read it again, maybe at a later date. I've also aware that when I studied it at school, we did watch a version of it. Kenneth Branagh was in it, I think. Hope I've got that right. And I just thought maybe it would be cool to watch it, and that would really help me get to grips with it. Particularly, I think, where you've got those really long monologues by characters, you need the acting. I don't have the understanding to do them justice, I don't think. So overall, it's okay, but I think it's probably one that's aimed more at people who are coming at it from a very academic point of view. There are other Shakespeare plays which would be better for a beginner. Let's put it that way. If you've joined in with ShakeTube this week and read Hamlet, then let me know. I would love to check out your videos and see what your thoughts are. Thanks for watching, guys, and I'll see you next time. Bye bye.